Guys, welcome back to Exploring Temecula. On today's video, we're going to talk about 22 pros and cons of Temecula, California. I have done these videos before, but I like updating them every year because I learn more. I learn more from buying and selling homes from other people, and I just want to keep this channel updated on things that are good and bad about the city of Temecula and the surrounding area. If you're interested in the Temecula area, make sure you subscribe. We do a bunch of videos every month, not only on the housing industry, but everything that there is to do and around Temecula. We also have home searches in the description, and we are licensed as an appraisal company as well. So if you need a home value, we can do that for you. So let's get into the video. So the number one pro I wanted to talk about is the school districts. School ratings are not only good for, and when you compare them to Southern California, but all of California. I just had a buyer move specifically to Temecula for that reason. So if you are interested in an area that's going to have great schools for your kids, Temecula, that is definitely going to be a pro, and why a lot of people move to this area. Okay, so next up I want to talk about the weather. Of course, people know Southern California, that's why people move here, right? I've lived all over Southern California. I prefer inland in regards to weather. Yes, it does get warmer than the beach, but we don't have the June gloom or the gloomy days like we do closer to the ocean. It seems like every day I wake up, there's sun shining, and I absolutely love that about this area. The summer months do get warm, so just make sure you understand that from June, July, August, September, you're going to have days above 100. I would say in those 4 months, you're going to have anywhere from 30 to 40 days that get above 100. So if you hate the heat, this might not be the area for you, but overall, the weather here is awesome. Next up, if you haven't heard, Temecula and the wine country is growing. Beautiful area. Not only are there wineries in that region, but there's also a lot of homes available for sale, or at least, not necessarily for sale, but there are homes in wine country. There's also land for sale. If you're looking to purchase land and build your dream home, that is also an option for wine country. And I see wine country in the near future growing fast. And in 10, 15, 20 years, this area could rival Napa, just from the sheer fact we have 20 million people and there's lots of money. And, I can see that all of these wineries, not only in numbers growing, but all the wineries upgrading and, just becoming really nice and, rivaling some of the other areas in California in regards to wine areas. Okay, next up, land for sale. Even though Temecula has grown over 120% in the last 20 years, there's still opportunity in areas of Temecula to buy land, mainly Duluth and wine country. But if that is something that you're interested in, absolutely, there are many, many land possibilities for you. Lots of beautiful views, agriculture, horse property, wine area property. Okay, so next up on the pros, as I mentioned above, there are horse areas and agricultural areas in Temecula. Duluth, you can, have up to 5 acres plus, orange groves, grapefruit, avocado, lemons. So if that's something that you're interested in, Duluth is an area just west of the 15. And then, of course, you have Meadowview, you have Los Ranchitos, and you have out near wine country. That's more of horse area, I would say. So if horses is what you are into, we have that as well. Okay, next up, overall safety. Just personally living here, I find it even safer than the beach. We lived right down on the ocean in San Clemente, and near the end, you saw a lot of drugs, you saw a lot of petty theft, and we were actually, we had our car broken into, and you can't leave your bike on the porch or it'll be gone. So, in Temecula, of course, you're going to have the car break-ins the odd time, but overall, I feel very safe in this area, in this city. And definitely a positive, especially in the climate we're living in now, and especially in the state of California. Okay, so next up, I find Temecula is very unique in the fact that many of the communities have, community activities in the way of pools, hot tubs, walking trails, basketball and volleyball courts. So that is something that is really prevalent in Temecula. And the HOA fees on these particular communities usually run around $100 a month. So for that $100, when you compare it to other areas of Southern California, your HOA really does give you a lot of extracurricular or extra activities to do for that $100, when a lot of other areas in Southern California that have these HOA fees really give you nothing. That's one thing. Personally right now, we live in Harveston. We have a lake, we have a beautiful pool, we have a hot tub, we have a barbecue area. We have soccer fields, baseball fields. Really awesome for somebody that's interested in maybe not owning a pool but having a community pool. They have kids, so they want to get them involved in sports. A lot of opportunities in Temecula for those type of things in each and every community throughout Temecula. Okay, next up, convenience. Most of the communities in Temecula, maybe besides Duluth and way out in wine country, you're going to have convenience in way of restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations really close by to your house. Every community seems to have all of those things within a 5-minute drive, and just makes it really convenient for those people driving to work every day. I know time is important in Southern California just because of how many people do have to commute. And I really like or love the fact that most of these communities in Temecula have all of these things available for you within 3 to 5 minutes of your house. Next up, proximity to the beaches. We're not paying beach prices, but I can get to 5 or 6 beaches within an hour and 10 minutes. I've talked about this when I compare Orange County to Temecula. What we found is unless you can actually walk to the beach, the nostalgia of living by the beach wears off. And if you're unable to walk to the beach, you still have to drive, you still have to find parking, you still have to deal with the crowds. So this is sort of the best of both worlds. Yes, it might be an extra 50 minutes to an hour to get to the beach, but you're expecting the crowds, you're expecting to pay parking, and you really can take advantage of 5 or 6 really beautiful beaches very close to Temecula. Okay, just the overall quality of life is definitely a pro living in Temecula. The home prices, what you get for a home, the amenities, the restaurants, the weather. I could go on and on and on, but generally speaking, the overall quality of life in Temecula is really, really good. And you'll find out very quickly that it's a great community to live and, raise a family. Okay, so next up, Old Town. I'm sure if you live around the area, you've heard of Old Town. Great area for going shopping, going to restaurants, bars. And one of the things that I was actually telling a buyer recently is I love the fact that if you go down there on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, lots of police presence. You never see any issues for the most part down in the Old Town area, even at 10, 11 o'clock at night. Just a heads up, do not drink and drive down around Old Town. Well, you shouldn't do it anywhere, but do not do it in Old Town because there are a ton of cops, which in my opinion is a good thing. Next up, golfing. Right here where I live, I probably have 30 golf courses around maybe 45-minute drive. They're all reasonably priced, anywhere from $30 to $60, depending on what day of the week you're golfing. So if you are a golfer, really nice area here. In Temecula specifically, we probably have 5 or 6 golf courses just in the city of Temecula. 2 of my favorites, Cross Creek and Temecula Creek. So check those out if you are in the area and you are a golfer. Okay, so next up, restaurants. We do have a lot of restaurants in Temecula, a lot to choose from. Many different types of cuisine like Thai, Mexican, fast food, anything that you really want in way of a restaurant, we do have it here in Temecula. Now, the downside, in my opinion, restaurants' quality and the food just doesn't compare to the beach. The beach has some of the best food, the best restaurants, that I've ever eaten consistently in my life. But like I said earlier, you're only an hour away. So if you do want to go out to eat and you want to make a day of it, go to the beach, go downtown or go wherever the restaurants are at the beach. And I'm telling you, beach restaurants just, they hit different. They're great places to go and have awesome quality food. Okay, next up, the distance we have to 5 airports. So if you are somebody that flies a lot, if you are somebody that likes to travel a lot, what a great thing that we have. We have Ontario Airport, 45 minutes away. San Diego, an hour away. John Wayne, which is in Orange County, which is an hour away. LAX, which is anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours away, depending on traffic. And then Palm Springs, which is an international airport. So a great thing to be in the center of all of these airports, especially if you fly for business or if you like to travel a lot. The cons, one of the things that people complain about a lot in regards to Temecula, especially people that have lived here for so long, is how fast it's growing. Population has grown over 120% in the last 20 years, and it is busy, especially during rush hour. It's not fun to get around, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the morning, and then again at night. Freeways are jam-packed. Infrastructure, which I'm going to get into later on, is not the greatest. So one of the cons is definitely the growth that we've had in Temecula over the last 20 years. Traffic, and I'm sure if you've heard of Southern California, you're expecting this anyway. In my opinion, yes, traffic is horrible here. But when you compare it to parts of Orange County, parts of LA, or parts of San Diego, it's definitely not as bad as those areas. As people move here, and the people are, I'm sure the traffic's going to get worse. So if traffic is something that bugs you, or you're worried about, your drive time, you better research that before you actually move to Temecula, because it is not fun. Okay, I put housing costs as a con. Maybe 5 or 6 months, maybe even a year ago, I would have said it's a plus, but we've gotten to the point where probably the average price on a home right now is anywhere between, $650 and $750 for a 2,300 square foot home. So just be aware that home prices have risen greatly over the last year in Temecula, and when you compare it to many other areas of the United States, it's expensive. Okay, so next up, the lack of infrastructure. I mentioned it, just previously, when it came to traffic. It's almost like they built all of these homes and didn't build enough on-ramps, off-ramps, how wide the roads are, how many lanes there are. So infrastructure does cause a lot of the traffic problems. Hopefully that gets fixed in the next 20 years, because if it doesn't, it's going to be an absolute mess here. So infrastructure is definitely a con living in Temecula. Gasoline prices, it's no secret. California has some of the highest gas prices of any state. I'm not really going to get into it. Right now we're at about $5 a gallon, $4.70 a gallon. So yes, you are going to pay at the pump in Southern California. Next up, electricity costs. Having pools, having hot tubs, because people are using these year-round almost, be aware that your electricity costs are going to be anywhere from $400 to $600 if you have a 2,200 square foot home with a pool in Temecula. A lot of people are, going with solar. I have difference of opinions on that in some cases. Just remember, your solar system, or your solar, whatever you want to call it, is going to cost around $30,000. You have to live in your home a lot of years to make up that money. That's all I'm going to say. So, a lot of people I see listing homes, I just bought this new solar, system for $35,000 or $60,000, even $60,000. Well, how many years is it going to take you to get that money back? But there is the option right now. A lot of these homes are selling with solar, and of course, if you get it paid off, that's a benefit to you and really will bring down your electricity costs. But if you don't have solar, be prepared to pay up for 5 or 6 months of the year when it's warm. Okay, and finally, the cons. Air quality is going to be better here than just say LA, but of course, because of the traffic, because of the people, air quality is not going to be the best. So if that's important to you, it's obviously going to be a con. So there you have it. Guys, there's 22 pros and cons of living in Temecula. Hopefully, I didn't get into a great deal of detail in a lot of these. I didn't want to make this video an hour and a half long. So if you have specific questions about this area, about the pros and cons, reach out, call us, and we will help you, along the way with anything that you need. Appreciate you following us, and until next time, exploring Temecula.